Okay, first of all, the whole purpose today is you're getting a twofer. Arlene and I are coming together because we want to talk to you about how to be able to find and pitch and actually land the right kind of sponsors for whatever you need to do for your business, for community events, and also how to be able to do it with confidence so that you know what to say, how to say it, and actually see the results. So we're very glad that you're with us today. We are going to introduce ourselves and then launch right into it. First of all, Eileen, I think a lot of you know, and she could tell you a little more about herself later. She is our sponsorship strategist. This is her business. She knows exactly how to go about finding sponsors, the right way to go and see if they're a good match, and the sorts of things that you want to present to them. I come into play in the delivery, in the communications, and the sales, because it's one thing to find a great prospect. It's another to be able to get right to the point, tell them exactly what it is you're looking for, help establish there's a good fit, and make it all happen. So I'm going to do this introduction. I'm going to then be switching it over to Arlene, and then I'm going to pick it back up again with some specific communication strategies that you're going to find useful. Now, overall, what we're trying to do is to put strategy with skill, with real world applications so that it makes sense. It's not just pie in the sky. This is stuff that you're really going to be able to use. And furthermore, it's going to even extend beyond sponsors, honestly. Anytime that you're looking for a business partnership, I think you're going to find a lot of these skills will come to bear. But today, what we want to do is to help you find the right sponsors, where there is an alignment, where it makes sense for everybody to get together. We also want to know how to be able to approach them strategically. So how is it going to make sense to them as well as to everybody else? Okay. We want to do the communications with confidence. So in other words, you're coming across professionally and with a direct idea of how they can benefit as well as yourself. And that information then can be positioned very directly and concisely so that everybody knows where you stand and they see that you're in charge of this. You're not apologizing or trying to find a right fit. You're able to put it right out there so that they can see and respect that and see if it's the right fit for them. And the whole purpose of this, of course, is to make sure that you get the yes rates where they realize this is going to be a win-win and they want to move forward. So I'm going to launch over here to Arlene and let her start talking about what you need to do to be able to find these sponsorships.
Thank you, Laura. And thank you, everyone, for being patient. Like we said, if this is the worst thing that's happened to us, then we're doing very well. So I want to know, are you ready to have more doors opening for you? And if you are, let me know. Shake your hand. Let me know if you're ready to make more money that you don't have to pay back. Come on, lively group, shake that hand. Let me know. We're going to wake up here. Okay, thank you. Okay.
I'm here and I do, but I'm doing dinner prep at the same time. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Laura, I'm ready for the next one.
Okay.
So in 1 year alone, corporations gave away $60 billion as sponsorship money. Well, I'm like, $60 billion, I have no idea what that means. 10 zeros, come on. I can't fathom what that means. So anyhow, I realized next, Laura, I realized that just 1% of 60 billion is 600 million. And 1% of 600 million is $6 million. Go.
Okay, Ellie, I got you. You got it.
Okay.
So let me make sure.
¿Cuál es esta que está aquí? Esta,
Maybe you want to mute some people?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be on this.
There we go. Okay. So $6 million, $60 billion. Wouldn't you like a piece of that pie? Now, you don't even need a piece. See that little crumb right there under that piece of pie? That could be worth $50,000. So, there's money there. There's a lot of money out there. People just don't know how to find it. They're not getting it because they don't know where to look. Laura, you can go. So, what I do is I show people how to get anywhere from $5,000 to about $50,000 in sponsorship money. Now, this is money you can use to build your business, and you don't have to pay it back. Remember that. You can use it however you want. You don't have to pay it back. So let's just take a second here. You can close your eyes if you want to or keep them open, but just kind of relax and think, what could I do with that $50,000? I could rent or buy an office. I could buy software. I could pay for travel expenses. $5,000 would cover travel expenses. So that extra $5,000 to $50,000 can really, really help you. And the good thing about it is that 50 can be from just one sponsor alone. So as you get going, we're looking for multiple sponsors, not just one sponsor. So, it can add up quickly. If once you get going with sponsors, this money can add up quickly, right, Laura? And you can switch the slide. So sponsors are everywhere. People think, oh, I'm an online coach, or I own a bakery, or I'm a dentist, and they think they have to stick to the exact, the same industry as they are. But it's not true at all. A dentist can sponsor a realtor. A realtor can sponsor a dentist. A car dealership can sponsor an online business. So sponsors are right in your backyard. And think about this. What do sponsors really want? Okay, Laura? Sponsors want to be seen. So what we do is we start where you are. Start right where you are in your neighborhood. Now, this is the really, really, really good stuff. Let's say you live in Atlanta, Georgia, or Sarasota, Florida, and you are working with a furniture store. Now, that furniture store might be a branch to a huge corporation. So by starting where you are with that furniture store being your sponsor, you're going to get visibility, you're going to get recognition, you're going to become known, and you're going to gather content, pictures, and so on. And now you have information that you can take to the brand office, to the headquarters. And this is really good. Most all Fortune 500 and all Fortune 100 companies get involved with community projects. So that's what we do. We do a simple community project to bring you, your business, and your sponsor together with the community. And when you do that, you can get free media. You can get free TV. You can get free radio time because you're doing something to give back to the community. So it's really valuable to start where you are and work your way up. And you can do that in no time. You can do that in 6 months' time and start reaching out to the big guys. Okay, ready? So what do sponsors want? What do you think they want? Somebody raise their hand and tell me, what do you think sponsors really want? Anybody? Come on, liven up, people. Somebody's got to take a guess. What do sponsors want?
They want to be seen. They want their brand name seen. They want their products seen. They want the community to connect with them in a way, a positive way.
And why do they want to be seen? What is the end result?
They want to make
They want to
money.
make money.
They want to sell their stuff.
That's right. Money. So we're giving them a lot of visibility. We're going to spotlight them. We're going to make them stand out opposed to their peers. See this one little guy right here? Okay, all the others are doing the same old stuff of advertising, spending all kinds of money on advertising. But because we have a little project, it doesn't have to be big, but giving back to the community, we can get all kinds of free media. We can get free advertising, and you are doing something different with your sponsor. Think about it. A car dealer spends tens of thousands of dollars for a TV ad. And all they do is say, come on in. We've slashed our prices. We have a new shipment. And then 2 minutes later, another car dealer says, come on in. We have a new shipment. We've slashed our prices. So this shows them how to do something different, and they can be spotlighted and highlighted. Thank you, Laura. So people go, okay, what should I offer? I don't have anything to offer. I don't know what to do. Well, a lot of times people will say, okay, we want to sponsor, and we'll put your name and logo on a t-shirt. We'll put you on social media. We'll put you on our website. And all of that is fine, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much you can do. There's so many more things, so many fun things you can do. And you have to be really specific and concise. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to put you on social media. They want to know more information about your social media, how many times you're going to post, where you're going to post. So you've got to be really specific and make sure they see the value of what you're giving them, and make sure that they realize that you are going to spotlight them and make them the good guys. There was a survey done by Mashable, and they said, and 87% of the people surveyed said they would rather do business with a company that gave back. And 84% of those people said they would rather do business with a company, they would refer that company to friends and family. So there's like a plethora of things you can offer sponsors, but people just aren't doing it. Okay, Laura. So this is what happens. People go, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. How do I begin? I'm too small. Well, that's the easy part. What you don't want to do, though, is you never want to ask for help. So many people make that mistake. They're like, oh, we've got this great project going, or we've got this great product that we're having such good results with, or a nonprofit might say, oh, we've helped so many people. Can you please donate to us, to our cause, and so on and so forth. You can't ask for help. What you need to do is let them know how you're going to help them, because they consider it as a marketing tool. What they want is more visibility so they can get more customers. And then how do I begin? Well, people tend to give away too much information. When you're working locally, all you need to do is really send a letter, get a letter out, and keep it very brief. You don't want to put your whole history and what you've been doing and how wonderful your business is and so on and so forth, and how many degrees you have and what you've been doing for the past 20 years. Just want to keep it brief. And so, as one of my gifts, I am giving you, for attending this, a paragraph by paragraph of what you should include in a letter. So it goes over 4 paragraphs and tells you how to construct a simple letter that will be eye-catching. And I'm also giving you fill in the blank template, where I want you to look around in your community and just list 5 companies that you think you could work with or you'd want to work with, and then list a little bit about them. You can find information in social media, and that is a free gift, so you can get started right away. One more thing, I want you to write this down if you have paper and pencil, or however you want to take notes. Just a real quick recap. First of all, don't ask for help. Do not ask for help. It's what you can do to help your sponsors. The second one is start where you are. And before you know it, you are going to be able to work your way up to the headquarters of a business. Third, don't overload your letter with all kinds of information because they don't really care. Just keep it brief and to the point. And remember that you're not too small. You can just be starting. This can be seed money to start up a business. I only work with small businesses and small nonprofits because the big companies don't need me. And sponsors are everywhere. They're hiding right in your own backyard. So at the end of this, you will see where you can get my link or get the QR code for the free gifts, and please do that. Thank you, Laura, for helping out, and it's your turn now, my dear.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Arlene. And yes, you are going to have several wonderful gifts that you could take advantage of. But now we're going to launch into the other piece of that. And namely, that would be the communication that actually closes your sponsors. Because it's one thing to be able to find them, and it's another for them to actually do business with you, which is what we're all about. So essentially, if you can have the best sponsor package in the world, you can have the best opportunities to work with somebody. But unless you have strong communication that's clear and smooth, the deal's going to die. So what I want to do is to launch into 5 different sales secrets. It's a combination of sales and communication, such as public speaking, and those things that you can even do both in person when you're talking to someone, or if you're just going to be speaking through the camera, and it's going to be, let's say, through a Zoom call. So I want to take you through each one of those. And again, we'll take questions at the end. But let's start off with our first one here. And that is, Arlene mentioned this, speak their language, not yours. They're going to need to know that, first of all, you understand where they're coming from. Do you know their business model? Do you know their ideal customer? And most importantly, what are their visibility goals? They're doing this for a reason. And therefore, you want to be able to understand how to position the opportunity that you represent in ways that will be of immediate, obvious advantage to them. And so you might come up with a sentence such as, here is how sponsoring this event is going to help your audience see you differently. Tell them, show them. And if you've done these sorts of things before with similar sponsors, they're going to be able to see a track record. And it's quite possible as well that they're going to be able to see that, okay, so and such perhaps had a 10% increase in their bottom line in the first 30 days. We think we can do that with 15%, but we'd be happy with 10 as well. So the idea here is to stop pitching your event, but position their brand advantage, because immediately you're going to get their attention. Because like all of us, it's all about what is in it for me? Why should I do this? Why should I extend this dollar amount, the people, the resources, if I'm not going to see some kind of a return? Of course, you can't guarantee anything, but at least they would be able to understand the opportunity. And if you can quantify it for them, at least with a track record, that's going to go that much stronger. So speaking their language is number 1. Number 2, be very specific about the ask. I mean, this is where a lot of people are going to lose their sponsors, right? Here and there. You have to know how to communicate 4 basic things. What is it that you want? What does it cost them? What are they going to get for it? And by when are they going to see something? So you may also want to create something for yourself or for some of your staff members or an assistant, a sentence or 2 that just where you could fill in the blanks. We are offering 3 sponsorships, for example, at X number of dollars. Each sponsor is going to receive A, B, and C. We are confirming our partners by, how are you going to do that? A certain deadline, a letter, a phone call, a meeting. Would you like to have one of those spots? It's laid out very, very succinctly. And if you can even put in writing for them, that is something then that they can review and take a look at or communicate with anybody else they need to afterwards. And if you're going to be putting together any kind of a presentation to a very large corporate sponsor, this is the sort of thing that you're going to want to have in your slide presentations. You're leading as to what they're going to benefit, the track record that you might have already experienced along these lines, and specifically what they need to know to make this a go. And you give them also a deadline so that they know that you're professional and you're serious about it. But this way, you are positioning yourself as somebody who's done this before, whether or not you have, that you are a professional partner with them, and that they're going to be receiving a lot of positive visibility through you, as well as through their own efforts. Okay, number 3. There's not going to be any rambling. There's not going to be apologizing. There's no checking in energy here. No, we are not even going to try to drown them in the details. It's very often that I find a lot of people who are in technical fields or maybe in the legal field pretty much just want to throw the book at everyone. We want to make sure you understand exactly who we are, how we're going to plan this event, what we need to do, all the different steps, and whoa, that's too much. You're trying to get their interest here. You're trying to get them to see that this is something I want to participate in, I will get advantage of, and you are the perfect partner. So give them the big idea, and don't do it in more than, let's say, 3 to 5 wins, and position it as wins. Something that they can remember, something that they could take away or jot down very easily on their phones or on a paper. Again, the brain is going to remember the benefits. They're not going to remember bullet points. And so if you or somebody else that works for you is wanting to give them a whole long laundry list, it's just going to go over their head and their eyes are going to glaze over and their minds are going to think about what they're going to be doing after your meeting. Start with just 3 to 5 brand benefits. Talk about, for example, the audience access they're going to be having. Who are they going to reach they may not reach before? Or how are they going to reach somebody they're trying to reach, or maybe even reach already, in a different way? What is the visual visibility? Perhaps they do everything digitally. Now they have an opportunity to be heard on the radio. They're going to be seeing flyers going up. It's going to be another way in overall media for the word to get out about their company and about their brand. And it also gives them the ability to position themselves as authorities, not just authorities in what they do, but also company that is wanting to give back to the community or to partner with some other business or individual. But it just shows leadership and a way of being able to say, we already understand all this. Now we're going to help others. However you do it, however you're going to mold it for your particular lead, you're going to not worry about the technical specifications. You're not going to worry about the size of a booth if that's something you're doing. You're not going to talk about ad dimensions or anything else. You're going to first secure the interest. You want the buy-in. So give them the highlights, how it benefits them, and get their minds thinking about all the possibilities they never considered. Number 4, I want to talk about how you can do the best possible job when you're in front of somebody. Now, when you are in front of somebody, you've got a great advantage than if you're just over the telephone or even through Zoom, because there is a personality that's standing right in front of them. It's harder to just dial away, mute, pick up your phone, turn off your video, get a human being in front of you. And these days, that's not as common as it used to be. There's also an energy between 2 people, so they can feel your excitement. They can get the vision. You can even have a little bit more of that personality coming through than you might in any other way. So what do? Number 1, eye contact. If you are not comfortable looking at somebody in the eye, I would strongly encourage that you to practice, because that is where we're going to gauge truth, honesty, and whether this person is being genuine. Now, of course, you can have a pitch deck. You might have a presentation. You might have handouts. You may be showing something on a computer, but take the time to stop and look at the other person. Listen to what they have to say. When they have a question, take time and don't just formulate the next point. And if you have to switch around, you answer the question. But when you have an eye contact, they know that you are tuned into them and you are earnest about this, and that you are actively listening to what they have to say to make sure that they get what they want. The other point is to be able to speak as a peer, not as a petitioner. None of this, oh, please, I really need this kind of whining energy. That is never going to be respected. People are looking for partnerships. They're not looking for somebody to guide. Maybe they're looking for a charity case to help out, but that's not how you want to come across. So try to be a true partner, as somebody who has something to offer, even if your business is much smaller than theirs. You might offer a service or a window into their type of customer that they may not have been able to reach before. Because sometimes when you have that one-on-one personal touch that they're lacking, that's a wonderful synergy. And it's something that can boost both of you forward. The other thing when you are in person is to make sure that you are leading with the outcomes, not the needs. People, again, don't want to be overloaded with things. They don't want to hear about possible problems. You're building a vision, something that they can see. So for example, you might just be positioning and say, you have an ideal client, but you're not able to reach them because they click away. They don't see that you're really invested in the community. You're not invested with the audience that has to deal with this on a day-to-day basis, but we are. And together, it shows that you are supporting businesses like ours, that you do care. And this is how you're choosing to be of some help. That's going to be far more powerful than anything else. And then also use curiosity. Don't be afraid to ask, what kind of visibility matters to you this year? Don't guess. Ask them straight out. And maybe one of the very first things that you do, you might want to first get their interest and talk about the possible outcomes, but don't forget to find out from them what is going to be of most benefit to them. And maybe what you have in mind is going to be better for next year. Maybe there are baby steps you can lay down right now. And even if something doesn't work properly the way you hope it to be, and you can't close the deal now, you can always lay the pathway for the following year and think long term. If they don't want to sign up now, they don't have the money, if their calendar's booked, if they already have partnerships, lay the framework for the future. And then it gives you an opportunity to follow up and touch base. But there's one more thing I want to add here, and that is your body language. When you're in person, that body language is so important. Have an open stance, which means don't stand there with closed arms. We just intuitively understand that, meaning you're defensive, you're negative, maybe you're cold, most likely though. It just means you don't want to hear what your potential sponsor has to say. Control your pacing. Don't try verbal diarrhea. It's not going to go over well. People are not going to catch what you're saying. And if anything, they're going to do so you're very nervous. And I may be the first sponsor you've ever approached, and therefore we don't want to be the first one. Maybe you need a little more time before you try this again. Keep it controlled. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. Look at them, make sure they're following along, and then bring them with you. And then finally, don't do any verbal hedging. This is something I've seen in my own work that a lot of executives or would-be executives have problems with. And that would be saying, well, kind of, well, hopefully, maybe you'll do this. That is language that says you have an out. You don't need to do it. And I'm wishing and praying and hoping, but I don't really think I can do it. Be decisive. This is what we're putting forward. We would love for you to partner with us because you will receive these benefits straight out, direct, in a nice, friendly fashion. And that's what's going to make the best impression. So those are my hints for in person. What I want to do with my last tip is talk about when you're on camera, because when you're doing things very, very virtually, it's quite a difference. And you don't want people to phase out, look away, pick up their phones, or get otherwise engaged. So here are some tips that I would recommend to you or anybody who's ever going to be on camera. And this works, by the way, in so many other aspects of your business. Number one, it's a professional setup. That means make sure that you are looking nicely on camera. Make sure that the camera is at your eye level, that they're not looking at you at the top of your head because your face is down, and that you're not looking up and they're not seeing your nose. Make sure you're filling up most of the screen, kind of like Arlene and I, the way we're showing up in our boxes. And I think the way a lot of you are all doing that too. Make sure you have proper lighting. Now, that usually means a light in front of you. I like to use Zoom with two ring lights, one 45 degrees to my left, one 45 degrees to my right. Be careful of overhead light. It can wash you out. If you're going to be in a natural setting outside, try to keep the sun in front of you. If you're going to be in, let's say, an office with windows, try to keep the windows on one side or the other, or in front of you, never behind you. Make sure you have a proper mic or that you're able to be close enough to your laptop so people can hear you. There are lots of different ways to do a setup, but you want something that's going to be professional with a nice backdrop so they feel like you're very serious about what you're talking about. The thing too is looking at the camera at eye level, because people through the camera are going to be judging you mostly by looking intently at your face. You know, it's a much smaller medium, and anything that's going to be small is going to be projected in a very large fashion. And they're again, naturally, as a human being, we're going to be looking at somebody's eyes. Can we trust them? Do they believe what they're saying? Should we believe them? Keep that eye line directly with the camera. And when you're speaking, talk to the camera. Now, I know, what if I have a script? What if I have bullet points? I can go into that with you as well. But the point of it is, do try to look at the camera as much as possible, because it does make a difference. I kind of got myself into the third one, but I have to say it twice because it's just so darn important. The worst thing I've seen anybody who's speaking or pitching is when they're looking down at a little window in their Zoom and they are reading a script and they're trying to, no. You know that when you're reading, you sound very different than when you're speaking. Know your stuff well enough. Keep some bullet points nearby and talk to the camera. Talk to the human being, because it's a one-on-one conversation. And if you read a script, then I would like to teach you how to do it properly. And that means even if you use a teleprompter or Windows with a script, most people take a lot of practice to get to that. So I am highly suggesting you not do it. There are ways around it. But when you speak from your heart, then the emotion comes out. Because believe it or not, that is the way that we are going to connect with the people on the other end of the camera. That's something AI can't do as well. I don't know if it'll ever do it, because it's the human quality, the emotion, the heart of one person reaching through that fourth wall to talk to somebody else that makes a difference. And if you're reading a script, that energy just isn't there. And then finally, when you make your ask, pause. Give them a chance to respond. Don't be in such a big hurry to fill up some dead air, but let them ask questions. Ask them if they've got any questions, but listen. And what you're going to find is that the camera is not going to be the obstacle to being able to have some confidence in what you're doing. It's really going to be on your mindset. And that's a whole nother talk, but you can make the camera work for you. And a lot of these techniques work as well in person as they do on camera. And that is relating one-on-one with a human being. So let me just sort of sum it up. First of all, the confidence of being on camera, it's truly a sales skill. It's not a personality trait. Anybody can learn this. That's what I teach. That's a lot of what I'm going to be giving you in my free gift. You can do this. You just need to know how. You need to be able to practice it. And furthermore, the strategy is going to get you in the door, but it is the delivery that's going to get you the check. And so take what Arlene has been teaching you with what I'm bringing to the table. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I promised you a lot of value, and put it together. And I think you're going to find some things that are going to work for you. Now, right now, we're going to launch into a Q&A. I'm mindful of the time. I'm going to get to our free gifts, and we got a special offer for you as well. But right now, I'm going to just stop the chat and let's just take some questions. I'm going to stop the share rather, and let's just take some questions for either Arlene or herself, and let us know what's on your mind. What can we do for you? Just raise your hand, use that little react heart at the bottom. And okay, Celeste, hi.
Hello, thank you so much. This has been really, really valuable, and I'm doing my best to look into the camera as I'm speaking to you. Trying to pick up on your advice here. So for me, I get that you say something about going for for local sponsors, Arlene. And the thing is, the thing that I'm wanting to do is not necessarily relevant for anyone local, it is actually something that has a bit of a bigger audience because it's something that I'm wanting to put out into the world, and it has 9 major jurisdictions in it. It's a book, to be completely honest with you, that I want to get published, and that's what's your advice?
So you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you can contact the huge corporations, and you're lucky if they even answer you and say sorry. But when they know you've been working with a branch of theirs, that's your introduction to them. You can't reach out cold. I mean, you can, but you know, you could spend months and hundreds of letters and everything else trying to get their attention. So what's the number one way that I know of to get someone's attention is to work with a branch of theirs. Now, you don't have to put on a big event. Like I said, we can do a very simple community project, and that's what I teach people. But once you get known, then it's really easy to reach out to their media department and so on and get known that way. And, you know, I can give you examples. We don't have time today to do that, but I can, you know, give you examples of people that started locally, and before you know it, corporations were reaching out to them.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just yeah. And it's obviously because I have no idea how to go about this. So I can't even think of anyone that I would even approach for this. So I'm like, no idea what to do. Even
Well,
after this.
think about this. It's what most people don't really understand is here you are, and here's your company that you want as a sponsor, and you're brought together by a community project. So they are sponsoring you indirectly. In other words, that is the key to it. That's the middleman, is a simple give back project to the community, because that is what's going to get you free media. That is what you're going to get known by. A lot of people are volunteers, but by doing this, you are hosting this, and you can bring in any information you want. You could bring in your business, your book, your everything. And that is how you get started.
So you're saying it has to be like a community event?
Doesn't have to be an event. I have other ways I could, you know, like if you make an appointment with me or something, we can talk and I can explain it. So it can be a simple project, and I can, you know, give you examples of what people have done and so on. So, like I said, you know, we don't have all the time to do it right now, and I'd
No,
love
I
to
get that.
be able to, but it's your foot in the door that is going to get you to those big companies.
Okay.
And-
Thank you so much. I'm complete.
Okay, great. We have something later on coming up that you might find of interest. Asima, hi.
Hi there, Laura and Arlene. I joined a little late, so I'm not sure. You might have covered this a little bit, but Arlene was saying that you should start with local projects. So I'm a publisher, book, and an author. What kind of project could someone like me start within my community and get sponsors?
So I'll give you an example of somebody that did a gift bag project. It was right after COVID. And I've had other people too do this, but she wanted to do something to show appreciation to the workers that have worked so hard. And so the community, her sponsors were able, you've heard of Toys for Tots, right? It's kind of like that. People brought in, you know, scented candles, lotions, chocolates, herbal teas, and they bagged them up and took them to the hospital for the COVID workers, just to show appreciation that the community cared about them. So there's all kinds of groups you can do that for. You can do it for kids coming out of foster care. You can do it for homeless people. You can do it for a collection for animals. And it's not even having to put on a big event. It's just something really simple that can be done in a few weeks' time. But that is where you get all the accolades for doing it. And that is where you bring in your information and let people know who you are and what you do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
John, please unmute.
Yeah, first of all, this is great. All kinds of opportunities. I'm thinking, possibilities. I really appreciate you and Laura putting this together. I just wanted to kind of verbally ask Thomas's question in there. How, when you're trying to get to the people to sponsor you, say in a corporation, how do you get to the right person without just going through some general mailbox?
So what I'd like to do is tell people collect, like if you're doing a project locally, you collect some information, pictures and so on, send it over to the media department of the corporation. They love to brag. They love to brag about what their company in Titusville, Florida, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is doing, and they are going to post all of that on their websites and in their newsletters. There are different company has different names, and I do have a list of some of the most frequent names of heads of the corporations, of who to contact, but that is how you kind of get in. It's start first with that media department.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Arlene. It's good to see you, Arlene, and good to meet you, Laura. Thank you for this information. So valuable. Thank you. My dilemma is I run a nonprofit. I've been a nonprofit director for 20 years. It's a full 501c3 nonprofit, and I've done lots of tiny donation sponsorships. They're perfect for business sponsorships. And now I also have a for-profit business. So I can walk into a business and represent either the nonprofit or I can represent the for-profit. I get very rulesy when it comes to like what you can do in a nonprofit versus what you can do in a for-profit. And I know those lines, but I tend to word vomit that to people when I start talking to them because I don't know that they need all that detail. How can I help streamline that, or how can I help be intentional when I walk in as to who I'm representing so that they clearly understand? Because there are nuances, but I don't need to necessarily tell them all of that in the conversation. How much do I need to go into detail on that?
Your business is sponsoring a project for the nonprofit. And so that's basically where you can get your for-profit in there and your nonprofit in there. I think what you're saying is, how do you refine what you're saying so you're not too wordy? Okay. So one of my gifts is a letter. When you are just working locally, you don't need to do a whole pitch deck. When you're working locally, you just need to do a simple letter. And there's 4 parts to it. You will see it when you click on and get the gift. And you're going to ask for a 10-minute conversation with them. And then, I show you what to do and so on, what to offer sponsors. And, I have a real basic outline that I give to people, but you can also expand on that. But so the first thing to do is just that letter, and then you want to let them know that you want to speak with them because this is something that is going to help them get seen and known. You're not asking for a donation. You're asking to partner with them, and you're going to make sure that they get seen and heard for being a caring company in the community, and treat it as it's a marketing tool for them. So you don't want to say too much about you. You just want to give some real basic details and talk about how wonderful they are.
Okay. Wonderful.
Did
Thank
that
you.
help? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very
Laura.
much, Arlene and Colleen. I was just noticing before we want to get into the segue to the free gifts, I just noticed that Valerie had put in the chat, would you suggest to integrate and become a better part of the community before reaching out to sponsors? What kind of community events or actions would you recommend for that?
Well, okay, that was a lot. So you can start getting involved with the community with a community project. Okay. So you don't have to have been all involved with the community beforehand. Use this as your communication tool to get started. So let's say you're going to do a collection for, for kids coming out of foster care or for whatever, and that is where you start.
How do you
Did that
find
help?
that?
How do you find what?
How do you find those events to become part of, or how do you organize that without knowing the proper people in the first place?
Okay. I think you're saying how the proper people like that you're going to help.
Yeah, like if I wanted to do a community food drive or something, or
Okay.
help children coming out of foster care, like how would I even find the actions to do that, or how would I even like
Okay.
who would I reach out to, or is there would I reach out to the city to see what community events are, because I know
No.
there's a lot of
Mm,
red
okay.
tape too for things.
So, okay. Well, let's just do foster kids, or an easy one would be like we're doing a collection for homeless pets. You Google some of the organizations in your town that take care of homeless pets, right? That they're pet adoption agencies. You tell them we are going to have a food drive for you. You can get involved if you want. You don't have to. And then you talk to some of the businesses in town, let them know what you're doing and how you are going to, spotlight them, highlight them, get them known, do some cross marketing for them, give them some pictures to put on their websites and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a whole list in a lot of ways and things you can do, but you can start if you have like a particular mission that you care about. It might be like the homeless, or it might be about breast cancer. It might be, whatever it is, that is where you let that organization know you're going to do a collection for them. And they do not have to get involved unless they want to. And just Google your area and find out, the different organizations.
Okay, so you would say reach out to the organizations who are kind of already in charge and spearheading these events first, and then see how you can become a part of it.
You don't even have to become a part of their organization. All you can just say, we are doing a collection for you and we have gifts for such and such.
Okay.
If they want to become a part of it, that's great. But it's just simple to like what I was talking about, Tina, how she collected the gift bags for the medical workers, and she just took them to the hospital and said, here, we have gifts.
Okay.
Okay, great. If we have any more questions, let's take them a little after because we're mindful of the time. Let me just show you how do you get some of those freebies that we were telling you, and I think a special offer you're going to find especially interesting. So I hope everybody can see the screen now. We finished the Q&A.
It's
Did you
not.
say
I
show?
see your Fathom note take. I see your emails.
All righty, then let me go and make sure that we got this going. All right, let's see. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Must have clicked the wrong thing. All right, let me first introduce Arlene's gifts, and we're going to put this in the chat when I go through these so that if you prefer to use links instead of QR codes, you can. But Arlene is offering essentially two gifts in one. Not only do you get a outreach letter with as a template, so you know exactly what you should be asking and the sorts of things you need to include, but also a worksheet to help you identify those types of sponsors. Anything you want to add to that, Arlene, briefly about it?
Just it's basically it's very informative. It tells you how to write your first letter and how to get started with looking around and getting some businesses in your area. And remember, they do not have to be directly related to what you do. They just need to be a company in your business that you can, get a fraction of the cost of a fraction of what they pay for advertising. You can help them get known and stand out among their peers. So it's a marketing tool for them. And you know, it's going to be something where they are going to get great visibility.
Perfect. All right, so if you want to use your camera, grab that QR code. Again, I'll put the link in the chat in just a bit. And then a gift from me, you're going to get 10 tips, steps, strategies to help you show up on camera with a lot more confidence and charisma so that you can win clients. And these apply as well for a lot of in-person sessions as well as being on camera. I do put the link out there, but this is a 12-page guide and it's going to give you a lot of ideas to really be able to break through that fourth wall and show you a person on the other end and have that one-to-one conversation. But I also would like to give you all a bonus because virtual networking is an incredible way for people to communicate and to get together and find new opportunities. The Grand Connection is one of those ways that we did this today. Arlene and I met through one of their events. And if this is something you'd like to check out for yourself, we can offer 3 events free on us for you to try. Arlene, did you want to add something about that?
Oh, just that that's exactly how we got together. We met through Grand Connection and then decided to work together. So yeah, if you can get go and join 3 of their events, it's very valuable. You'll meet a lot of people and you'll learn a lot.
Absolutely. And they've got a lot of different mixers and opportunities to learn and to network. And then what I would also like to invite everybody to is a special lab, a workshop, if you will, where you can actually put everything that you have learned today into practice. In other words, with real scripts, real sponsor opportunities, and the use of 2 coaches to help you go and guide you through it from start to finish. So we are offering together in January a live hands-on workshop where you're going to be able to learn what you're doing, put it into practice, because it's one thing to be able to hear it and to understand it. It's another to actually be able to do it, to be able to practice that pitch where Arlene is playing the role of the live sponsor and bring some of your own opportunities with you if you wish. And then I'm going to guide you in the communications and the sales and the delivery so that you're able to make that pitch from a question mark to a definitive yes. It's going to be an opportunity for you to be able to bring in your questions about a real sponsor that you would like to be able to incorporate into your overall business and be able to iron out a lot of things before you even get into that true situation. You're going to get expert feedback from the 2 instructors. 1, exactly how a live sponsor would react. And 2, the public speaking, the delivery, the presentation portion that I provide. And you're going to be able to leave with clarity, confidence, and all the next steps that you need to follow so you'll feel ready to go and hit the ground running. This is going to be held on January 13th, which is a Tuesday, from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. We only have room for about 12 participants because this is something that is going to be some one-on-one work. And we want to make sure everybody has sufficient time for it. So the special offer is a 3-hour immersive training. You're going to learn from others. You're going to have a chance to be able to work it through yourself. It's going to be in a small group format, real-time coaching and feedback so that you can learn and which you can apply to other aspects of your business. And you're going to come away with the templates, the scripts, and the delivery guidance, everything that you really are going to need all in one place. The investment is only $197. This is a value that is closer to $1,497, nearly $1,500, because of the time, the materials, and the attention that you're going to receive. But, and here's the QR code, we want to make a special offer or 2 to this particular group because you have been with us, especially with Murphy hanging around and causing technical snafus. So if this is of interest to you, we invite you to get $50 off, which brings that price from $197 to $147 when you register by midnight. And again, this is a $1,500 value where you're working with 2 coaches, bringing in some real ideas, sponsors that you would like to approach, be able to workshop them, see how well it goes in a trial situation, and be able to get some on-time delivery feedback so you can tailor your pitch, whether you're going to be doing it in person, over the phone, or over the computer. I am going to also drop the link in the chat, but I also would like to give you one other option here. For the first 7 people who register and take care of this before midnight, I'm also going to give you a free do-it-yourself video setup checklist. So if you've ever wondered, what do I need to be able to really shine online, make videos, speak on camera, do these Zoom meetings and look professional? This is going to be a list of everything you need, including if you're going to be traveling or even doing this stuff outside. So if this is of interest to you, do register as soon as possible. I've just put all the links in the chat. So make sure that you click those 3 little dots at the top that will allow you to save the chat, or click on each of these links. You got the windows populating your screen, and then you're going to be able to get everything at once. You're going to have the 2 free downloadable gifts from Arlene. You're going to be having the free PDF guide from me about the 10 strategies you need to really shine on camera. You're going to have the opportunity to sign up for a one-on-one pitch opportunity to be able to work through some real sponsors and to be able to fine tune what you want to say. And you can get the bonus of a do-it-yourself video setup checklist, which is going to be helpful to you no matter what else you're doing. So there's the link and the QR codes. I am going to put up here on screen one more time the QR codes for the downloadable gifts if you haven't seen them, as well as our emails. And we invite you to click on those. We invite you to reach out to us. If one side of this offer appeals to you and not the other, we can work with you in that particular area. Arlene is the queen of sponsorships, and she can help answer all the questions and lead you from soup to nuts. I know the sales communications and especially doing it virtually, and I can help you get comfortable on camera, know how to make videos that knock their socks off, and really be a go-to industry expert as seen online. So I'm going to just stop the share. I know that we're a little bit over time, and I appreciate everybody being with us. But if you have any other additional questions, we invite you to, open up. We'll be here for as long as you need us, and to download these gifts and to register for that workshop. Because once we reach 12 people, we're not going to be able to take any more. So, Arlene, anything else that you'd like to add to that?
I had something and now I forgot what it was going to be.
Okay.
I don't remember. Just that, if you felt like you learned a lot here today, you will, in 3 hours time, you're going to learn a lot more. And we're going to help you if you feel like, I don't know what to offer people. I don't know who to reach out to. We will help you really get some very good ideas of where to get started, because that's what counts. It's those first few sponsors. Once you get 2 or 3 sponsors, you're on a roll. You get going, and it doesn't matter how big they are. As long as they are your sponsors, they're your sponsors. So, it's very valuable to get started right, like I said, right where you are. And that's what Laura and I are here for, to help you get started, because you can start doing this year after year after year after year. And not many people know about it. Not many people think that, well, they've heard of sponsors, but not many people realize that it can work for them.
Okay. All right. Well, feel free to reach out to either of us. You have our emails, and I will put that back up on the screen right now. And if we can be of any more assistance, please reach out. And we certainly hope to see you in January. I think this is going to be a great way to put everything into practice. So
Definitely. Yes.
all righty. Okay. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming and for bearing with us with some of the technical challenges we had early on. All right.
All right. Last call for questions. Did you have your hand up, Andrea? Oh, tell Andrea's one of my clients. Go ahead and say
Wonderful.
something, Andrea.
Hi.
Andrea.
Yes, we're in the middle of our boot camp, and I've had a great experience. This is my first time trying for sponsorships. I'll be trying at the end of the month here, and I'm very excited.
Excellent. All
Thank
righty.
you, Andrea.
Okay. Well, I think everybody has the links. If there's anything else we can provide, please reach out. And I want to wish everybody a wonderful, happy holiday season. And we hope we see you in January. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this, ladies. It's been really valuable.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
That's